Hi guys, this is Luca. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I know that there are some English speaking subscribers on my channel, so I don't want to forget you guys. My last video was in Italian and it was really long, so instead of do all the captions, the subtitles, I prefer to do another video just for you guys, so I hope you will appreciate it. And today I want to talk to you about my preset on the MOOER GE200 that I used on my video on the Eruption guitar solo, Van Halen Eruption guitar solo, that I will link here. Some of you guys asked me in some Facebook groups if I could share my patch, and I want to show you guys what was my process to build the sound that is, to my ears, is close to Van Halen sound, the brown sound. So let's dive into the editor. So here let's turn off the mode, the overdrive, the delay and the reverb, because I want to show you step by step. So starting from the amplifier, of course I chose the Plexi 100 and as you can see, it's pretty much everything on max, on 10, except for bass and presence. Okay, so usually the legend says that you have to turn everything up to maximum. You will take a Plexi style amplifier, and then all the pots, all the potentiometer, all the controls to maximum. But I can hear on the original record that the bass are not so huge, so to me this sound is better. I can hear as well with my headphones. I'm using headphones, by the way. I'm not using the monitors because this was the setup that I had when I recorded the solo. So I thought it was good to have the same kind of setup without cheating with better monitoring. Okay, so even if you have just like a headphones back home, these are nice headphones. You can find the link on the description. These are nice, not really expensive, but not super cheap. So you can, if you want, do some mixing as well with these kind of headphones. So yeah, I can hear, if I turn the bass all the way to maximum, yeah, you can hear this boominess, the boom boom boom, that it's pleasant actually to play with, because you feel more power, but I know it's not, how can I say, like a mixing friendly sound. So I prefer to turn down the bass, and it was, I guess, like 34, but it's not really important, you know. You don't have to be exactly like picky with these controls. It's just like, okay, let's turn the bass down a bit according to your taste. I want to mention, of course, that I'm using an EVH striped series. As you can see, it's been modified. So I have a DiMarzio Puff Pro here and FS1, I guess, here, that I'm not using, of course, for this solo, and the sound is coming from the DiMarzio Super Distortion here on bridge pickup. You don't have to buy an EVH guitar to play Eruption, but of course a Super Distortion style pickup and maple neck, it will help you to be on the right path. So let's continue then. Presence as well. If I use the presence all the way up, you can hear it's a little bit fizzy on the top, so I prefer to turn down a little bit the presence as well, even if you can play with the following section. So the cabinet section, I'm using here no third-party IRs, but just like the one built in into the MOOER GE200, and I'm using, of course, the Marshall one, so the 1960 412 with, of course, EL34 power section, and the SM57 microphone, you know, just like a standard, really standard microphone. As I was saying here, you can play, you can move, you know, the microphone from the center of the speaker, and if you want to have a darker sound, you can put the microphone away from the center of the speaker. So I'm exaggerating right now, this is 100, like 100, I don't know what, just like the maximum value that you can have. And you can hear that the sound is way darker than before. So I can't remember the value that I had before, I guess it was kind of low. Yeah, and now it's got more presence. So if you want, you can move the microphone a little bit away from the speaker and then turn the presence up. It's a balance, you know, it's again according to your taste, and they did this kind of fine-tuning just like listening to the original record, okay? The distance as well, if you turn down the distance of the microphone at 0, the sound is more punches, more direct. And if I move to 100, it's less powerful, and in a way it's a little bit more roomy, you know, because it's supposed to have the microphone away from the speaker, so there's more air. To my ears, I think it's like in the middle, it's kind of a nice sweet spot. Because I don't know if I'm correct or not, I wasn't there when I wasn't even born when Eruption came out, but to my ears the sound is a little bit roomy. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but to me sounds like that. So okay, this is the amp settings. It's really nice sound. But if I have to play a solo, it's not enough. I know that Eddie apparently used just the amplifier, but we know that he was using the Variac system to turn down the voltage of the amplifier, so apparently I never tried one. You can have more gain because the amp would have more sag. Instead of the Variac, we can use an Overdrive, and turning on the Overdrive section, here I'm using most of the time my first choice of Overdrives is the Gold clone, the replica of the Clone Centaur in the Gold version. And as you can see, the volume is almost at maximum, the tone is pretty high, and the gain is kind of low. This is because I don't want to have too much gain, otherwise we will go away from the Eddie Van Halen sound, because actually Van Halen doesn't have a lot of gain. It's more in the picking technique, in the hand, you know, the tone is in your fingers, as you can as you know. So if I now I'll make you hear the sound with the overdrive in. Yeah, you can hear that's way more gain, so I can play lead stuff without any problem. Okay, I have enough sustain, but it's not too distorted, it's not too much. When I had to set the gain, I was always playing this part of Eruption. So these notes to me had to sound in that way. Okay, so if I'm turning the gain up, as you can hear, also there's more background noise, more hiss. So here different. It's too much gain. So to me, this area is better. Oh yeah, way better. Okay, and the tone as well. If you turn down the tone, it's not bad. It will be like a little bit more gentle, and tone at maximum. This is another parameter you can play around. Presence of the amplifier, distance of the microphone from the center of the speaker, and the tone as well of the distortion. To me, the sweet spot was around 6 and something with this overdrive. But also here it's according to your taste, so don't take any suggestion as a rule. Okay, this is just like it's a guideline. Okay, then of course delay. Delay. I chose a tape delay. I know that Eddie was used to put the delay in front of the amplifier, also because there was no FX loop back in the days. But I tried to put the tape delays in front of the amplifier, and even if like I'm trying to put the level really low, it's still too messy. So I put the delay after the cabinet here as well, not even the FX loop, like Eric Johnson would do the same. He would, at least I don't know now, but back in the days I remember he was used to use his Hecoplex after the cabinet. And I guess also Michael Landau does something like that. I'm not sure 100%, but so yeah, this is the sound with the tape delay. Yeah, it's really nice delay. And yeah, there's not much to say. The level is here, it's 3, and the time, actually I don't really pay too much attention. For me, this kind of delay is not like it's more like it's an aura. Okay, it's not really important to have a delay that sounds exactly at that time. It can be improved. I was kind of lazy, so to me it was sounding good, and this is the setup that I used, and apparently sounds good. And then lastly, the reverb. I use the plate reverb, so more kind of a studio, old-fashioned studio reverb. I left here also pre-delay. I didn't notice that. I just like turn on the reverb, and the sound for me was close enough, was good enough, so I didn't change too much of the preset. But just so you know, I turned off the delay just for a second, and as you can hear, the pre-delay that some of you guys maybe don't know, it's just like the delay of the reverb. So basically, if I put the pre-delay at max, you can hear this. Okay, so it's just like seems like the reverb will start later. Seems like you have a really big room, so the sound have to go to bounce on the wall in order to go back. And pre-delay at 0 would give you this sound. So the reverb will start as soon as we hit the strings. So I would put the pre-delay at 0, but for some reason it was sounding good. This was the default setting, so I left it at 200. So okay, then again the delay, and this is pretty much the sound for the first part. Actually, I was lazy as well, and I did a little mistake on the video, because I played with the phaser also on the first part, but Eddie doesn't do that. The first part is just this sound actually. So this is just that. Then on the second part, he would turn on the phaser. Okay, so I put the phaser as the first signal chain, the first pedal of the signal chain. So this is the phaser, and the rate is 222, so it's kind of a slow one. Really slow. Basically, it was Eddie does. I think he used an MXR phase 90 with the pot all the way down. You know, you just have one pot on that phaser. So to me, this sounds good. Sounds good enough. And the level and depth, I didn't change it. It was the preset to me. Okay, so this is the sound of the second part of the eruption until the end. Especially you can hear this sound during the tapping, part. Hear more this slow phasing sound that is really like a signature Eddie Van Halen sound. So guys, this is pretty much it, and it's not really complicated. There's no mystery behind it. It's really like an easy and straightforward sound. So I think that the most difficult part is actually playing Eruption and trying to mimic all the tiniest nuances of Eddie. I remember when I started to learn this solo some years ago, I was watching Pete Thorne, that probably all of you would know. If not, like, check him out, it's amazing, to figure out some parts. But my biggest suggestion would be to train your ears, because that's ultimately the way to replicate as close as possible, so, you know, other guitar players. Like, everybody did that. So especially for Eddie Van Halen, the sound is really in his fingers, because with a sound like this one, if I'm playing soft, you can see like that, you can hear that it's still really dynamic. So it's really important the way you attack the strings. Actually, another thing that it's different, I'm using really thick picks. This one are the Dunlop 500. It's not, I don't have the autofocus. So this is the Dunlop 500. You can find the link in the description as well. And these are like 1.5 millimeters. So it's kind of thick pick. And Eddie, we know that he used thin plectrum, thin picks. So this is another difference. But somehow I could mimic a little bit of his sound, even with a thick pick, just because for me, I've played with this kind of picks for my entire life, and this is home for me. But yeah, so that's basically it, and I hope you guys can replicate the same sound. I mean, you can just like follow the video and change the value, change the presets accordingly. You can do it like just following step by step. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and see you next time. Ciao!